Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to Positively Positive with Stone Cold Loki and PJ from Orville Nation. And I'm pointing the wrong way. I don't know why I'm pointing the wrong way because everything's mirrored here in the studio. I haven't got everything quite right yet. Everything's still like I'm still working on getting everything back to normal. Good. It's almost afternoon, but it's not afternoon yet. Good morning, PJ. How are you doing, brother?
Good morning, and I was just looking at this beautiful thumbnail that our friend did, and I just realized lemonade from lemons. Maybe is that
Lemonade from Levens. Chris Persia knows his business. I'm gonna blow it up there. You can still hear us. Everybody can still hear us, but they can see the whole thing. Yeah, and there's you with your little Orville Nation tag, your little Orville Nation lemon sticker on the lemon, and there I am with the horns. There's my lemon, and then there's all the lemons around us that are either smiling, freaking out. I think there's one little sad lemon. There's a poor little sad lemon crying, and because they're gonna get made into lemonade. But I think we're pretty happy that we're gonna be.
Great artwork.
Thank you so much. And it says "We the People" in the back. It's got the the flag because we're going to be talking about liberty, and we're going to get into some politics, and in a good way. In a good way. This isn't going to be like a downer stream or anything. We're just going to
we're going to celebrate liberty instead of complain about it, I guess.
Right? Yes, absolutely. And let me welcome everybody. We got Penny. Hello, Penny. Big hugs go out to Penny. Leia Rose, a lovely Leia Rose. She says, hail Loki, hail all of Valhalla. Hello, Orville Nation. And then she's throwing out fireballs. Thank you so much, Leia. Mark D'Ambly retired, the angriest wrench on the internet, says, afternoon, PJ. He's being nice. He's being nice. He can be nice. He can be nice. It's like the Mikey likes it thing. He likes it. Mikey likes it. Keely Chow, roll tide, Keely, roll tide. Good morning again, my friend. Good to see you. Absolutely good to see you. The lady, Arwen Avalon, is here. She says, hey, y'all, and is throwing the unicorns and the rainbows and the fairy dust and the pixie dust and sparkles and broken forks. Walter Tomasky is here. Liberty and justice for all. That's right. That's right. What's up? The mad doctor of disaster and destruction, Adega Outlaw, is here. Good morning, my friend. Good morning. We were kind of talking about Adega. What day was it? It was either Wednesday or Thursday last week. We brought up some Adega stories. And
what were you talking about?
So a couple years ago, I'm pretty sure it was YouTube Talk. We were talking about YouTube Talk. There was a guy that I knew, that Adega knew, and Adega was like had a nightly or once a week thing on his channel. And the guy got some bad advice and dropped Adega. And that's when I was like, hey, dude, come over and do 7 Kinds of Mischief with me. We'll talk history. And we talked like history, and then we got into mythology, and then we got into strange and unusual and spooky stuff and scary stories and all that jazz. So it was like an old Adega story.
I gotta say, I could never have reviewed Dark Matter without Adega. With when we had Joe Malazzi and I think Loki, you were on with us once, right?
Yep, I came on. Dark Matter's great. In fact, I just had a friend talking to me about Dark Matter who watched it on what did he watch it on? He watched it on Apple TV or something.
That's a new Dark Matter.
Yeah, that's the new Dark Matter. And I was like, dude, you need to check out the old Dark Matter and what Joe Malozzi did with Dark Matter. Yeah, always kicking butt and taking names. So many people that PJ's introduced me to, and I've introduced PJ to, and Adega, and so many wonderful people on this platform. And people we get to talk to and hang out with. So I am very honored and blessed. All the people that I've gotten to meet and get to know and hang out with and collab with and all that fun stuff. You're too kind. No, we are not. We are not. Just speaking the truth, man. Just speaking the truth. So PJ called me yesterday and was like, Loki, what do you think about this idea about doing, like talking about liberty, talking about the good things about what we've got here in this wonderful place? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Which is usually the answer. I don't think I've ever been like, nah, or anything like that. I'm like, let's do it. Yeah. Let's have some fun.
And when I threw it out to Loki, I tend to be very apolitical because I think politics divides people a lot. And of course we can have our preferences, and each of us do, and I have my own. But I was thinking about coming this more from a social component, right? About what is. I mean, there's certain realities that need to be addressed, even if we're not going to be touting political positions. I mean, there's realities going on that need to be talked about.
Oh yeah, they just had an election where someone else won that lost in a landslide, but they still won down in Venezuela.
Oh yeah,
all kinds of craziness. There's all kinds of craziness going on.
The dictator won.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I assume, yeah.
Oh yeah, and let me ask you something, and I'll ask all of you out there in chat. How many times you've been on like Thanksgiving with the family, and someone's like, "I'm gonna bring up politics," and you're like, "Oh, no, please don't, and then the wonderful, happy Thanksgiving dinner turns into, I hate you. No, I hate you. I'm leaving. I'm not leaving because it's my right. And you're like, oh, please no. Can we just have one Thanksgiving where politics does not get brought up and we do not go into like, it's like knives coming out, like you're about to play Monopoly, and you're like, I'm ready. I'm ready to play. Please no.
Is it more? Yeah, it's usually Thanksgiving for some reason that triggers it even more than Christmas and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, I put out a post the other day. I was like, look, all those people, I wish I could, I don't know if I can find that or not. I hate going back and looking at my own stuff. Almost as bad as, oh yeah, I pinned it. Okay. I said, for years we have been told you can't say this, you can't point this out, you can't have this opinion. In the name of modern day lunacy, it's okay to hate one side. It's okay to threaten, to wish harm, to promote modern day hypocrisy. It's going to take time to heal from this, maybe a generation or two, but we will heal. That starts with forgiveness. We won't forget, never forget, because that's exactly what got us here in the first place, but we can't forgive. Forgive your neighbor for hating you because of a sign you put in your front yard. Forgive that family member for calling the police that Thanksgiving because you invited them during the coof. Forgive your friend for calling you a Yahtzee because you didn't agree with their narrative. The only way forward is forgiveness, but never forget everybody that went along with it. And that's really all you can do, I couldn't believe when all that craziness was going on, people were calling the police and reporting their family members for having Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and it was even worse in Canada.
That's crazy. Or people getting arrested because of because they're protesting. When they're supporting protests halfway across the world and saying, "Oh no, people should have the right to protest," and then a protest happens in their own backyard, and they're like, "Nope, shut it down. Nope, we're going to send in the police with the tear gas and the dogs and the whatever, and we're gonna put a stop to all of it."
Yeah, this is why if the people in charge are not going to be level-headed about stuff, and obviously there need to be some response to whatever's going on, but it needs to be level-headed. If people in charge are not going to be level-headed, the people need to be level-headed about it, and act accordingly, and protest and if need be, vote people out of where they are.
That's right. And that is supposed to be our liberty to do that. That's our choice. If we don't agree with the way someone's handling something, we should have the right and the ability to vote them out. And there's processes there that are supposed to remove them if they're below board, not doing what they're supposed to do, if they are doing something that's illegal. But more and more we see people that are just like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody does. I'm not leaving. And sometimes it comes to a point where they've got to force them out. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I don't agree with that. You're a public servant. You're a public servant working for the government. Let me ask you something. What do you think about someone that was $8,000 in debt? So they're $8,000 in debt, and they go into government, and after 7 years of being in the government, they're worth $27 million.
Wow. I don't know who you're talking about, but that sounds fishy.
Ocasio-Cortez is who I'm talking about. Someone that went into public service in $8,000 in debt, $8,000 in debt, and is now worth $27 million. That's crazy.
You mean AOC? You mean
AOC?
How is that even possible? Has she been there that long? 8 years?
No, almost 8 years.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
That's crazy. How do you do that? She makes $127,000 a year.
Yeah.
In the government. How do you suddenly have a portfolio of $27 million after almost 8 years?
By the way, insider trading is illegal unless you were in Congress.
That's right. It's funny how that works. How would, if you were looking at this from the outside and you were going, what's the first thing I need to do to fix this? What would you do?
What would I do?
Oh yeah.
I without getting political, I hear a lot of these solutions coming from one person, in particular RFK, in my opinion. The solution is to not, if you're going to be in government, don't surround yourself with swamp people. You got to get new blood in there. You got to get people who are not tied to lobbying, who are not bought, who are not who have vested interest in the truth and doing things the way they're supposed to be done.
Do you think term limits on everything would fix the problem? If we had term limits like two terms, that's it, maximum, no matter what you do you think that would fix it?
That's a good question. Or maybe even maybe if not term limits, another possibility too could be break. Like you need, like, if let's say you have, some of these senators have been in for like God knows how long. Let's say you can only do maybe just 2 consecutive, and then you need a break, or something like that. Maybe that's another option too. But yeah, I mean that's a real problem. It is a real problem for people who are lifetime positions, right? Almost.
Right.
What do you think?
I think term limits would be a really good way to start. Get everyone on 2 term limits. So many years, everybody's on the same system. Nobody's on a different system. Say 4 years. You spent 8 years working for the government. Okay? So you've spent 8 years working in public service. It's time to move on. 8 years maximum, 2 terms, no matter what you do. Well, Loki, how do you become president then? How do you become vice president? How do you have term limits? You have to have term limits. Let's say you're a congressman. Well, you can only spend 2 terms in Congress. You can spend 2 terms as a senator. You can spend 2 terms as a judge on the Supreme Court. You spend 2 terms as president, and that's it. That's all you can do. Each position, and I'm not talking about state, so you can't go from like, oh, well, I was a senator for Wyoming, now I'm a senator for California. No, you don't get to play musical chairs, but you can change positions. So if you're a senator, you can be a senator, you can be in Congress, you can be a vice president, you can be a president, whatever. But 2 terms, that's it. 2 term limit on everything. I'm sure they'll still find a way for them to do something, but if you're like a mayor and you spend 8 years as a mayor, it's time to move on. It's time to move on to something else. If you don't become a governor, Do something else. Find another way to serve the public, but you can't spend more than 2 terms.
Yeah.
Someone once told me that you should have to either be in law enforcement, be in like fire rescue, be in the military, and have so many years before you can even get to that point. And I was like, that's not a bad idea, but that obviously goes against the Constitution and what we put down in the first place. But it's not a bad idea.
I think that comes a little bit from the mentality of like people in Switzerland all have to have a certain, like a year or two of military service or security forces service, which, it is a little counter the Constitution, but at the same time, I think it does make good, it does improve the way some people behave. And any great ideas in the chat, please share.
Yeah, please, guys. Tyron Lethbridge says, I hope I said your name right. Term limits for the bureaucrats. Fauci should not be able to wink at congressmen and lie to hearing with a smile on his face. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you get caught lying, that's it. You're gone. You lie in front of a committee like that, you get caught lying, you're out.
Did you hear about by the way, thanks Ty for bringing that up. Did you hear about those kickbacks that they get from that vaccines? Like, and if they pass on, their kids get the kickback. I mean, what the hell is that? Royalties,
and they all have every single senator, all of it, they all had stock in one of them. And in one of those companies, they all had stock in one of those companies that were just cashing in, and the government was sending blank checks. They were cashing them, and they're making money off all of that.
Yeah, man, that's. I mean, there's so. The right word's not coming out for me right now.
They're all getting kickbacks for something they were all pushing. That.
Yeah, the conflict of interest. The conflict of interest is tremendous.
And why are they able to do that when they're working as public servants that get a paycheck? They get a paycheck. So for anybody out there who doesn't know, and I'm talking about all government employees here, we're not pointing fingers at one side. All of them have the best medical you could ever imagine having. Everything's covered. They don't pay for anything. There's no deductibles. There's no money down. There's no, oh, well, you gotta do this much before you. No, there's none of that. All their medical's taken care of, and it doesn't come out of their paychecks. So whatever they're making, that's what they're getting. Why are they suddenly becoming multimillionaires when they're only making $100-something thousand a year? How's that happening? These are things we need to figure out, because this is where all the money's going in America, or it's just be given away. And if you don't think they're making money off of that, you're crazy. They sure are making money off of that, because they can get into military bonds and stock where, oh, well, we're selling them all this stuff from these companies, and we own stock in all these companies, so we're making money off of all this. We're making money off of the sale to arms to wherever. They're all inside this, all making money left and right. That's not public service. We as a country have forgotten what public service means.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be serving the public, not serving yourself.
Yep. And this lobbying doesn't just go on here. It goes on in the European Parliament. It goes on in a lot of places. In the UK, there's a lot of there's a lot of people in the chat who are not from the States. So you guys know it goes on everywhere.
Mark says, get rid of the Federal Reserve and put the dollar back on the gold standard instead of oil. Gold used to run all these countries. Gold was the key. Gold was the moneymaker. Now it's not. And as long as people are refusing to pump it, refusing to frack it, refusing to drill it, refusing to do this, all your prices are going up. for everything. Did you hear about the battery recall for Toyota? It was like over 100,000.
Was it for regular cars or was it for like hybrids?
It was hybrids.
No, I didn't hear about it. What was it? So the batteries are bad?
The batteries are ruining the engines. So they're basically going to have to replace those engines, all of them.
Wow.
On 100,000, over 100,000 trucks are going to have to get their engines replaced.
They're ruining the gasoline engine or the motor or the electric motor.
The way they have the hybrid set up, it's ruining both.
Both. Oh shit.
So when they just have a gas engine that runs just fine, that we're kind of all over the place, hitting everything, everywhere, all at once.
We are. By the way, now that we're all over the place, I have a feeling that Elon has a little plan for down the road, and I think a lot of those batteries are going to get swapped out for something else. That's just me, though.
Tommy says the batteries are blown up. Yeah. How does that happen? Did anybody see that video of the guy walking into? He had a bike battery. He had just a bike battery. It's the same battery that's in the EVs, but it's just a bike battery. Walks into elevators, going in the elevator, and the battery blows up in the elevator.
I saw that.
How does that happen? How is that safer?
Very contaminating too, by the way.
Oh yeah, and they're using kids to mine the lithium that goes into the batteries.
That's a whole different. Yeah, jeez.
Adega says need the water engines to actually survive big oil and make it to the market. There have been a few, and they get bought up. The patents get bought out.
Oh. I guess what's funny is if it didn't work, if it didn't work, why would that get bought out?
Well, they had that. Did you ever see that one guy? He had a converted VW Bug that ran on used fry oil. So he'd go to like McDonald's or whatever and get their used fry oil at the end of the day and fill his car up with it. And that's what he drove in his car, was used fry oil. How much fry oil do they throw out every day from the fry daddies? Imagine using that as a fuel and how efficient that would be.
Yeah.
That got bought out. That patent got bought out.
Really?
Tommy, make steam engines great again. Is that the answer? Go steampunk, Tommy? And Daga would love that. We all just went steampunk. See, I knew you'd love that. I knew he'd love that. Tommy loved that too. Yeah! We'll just go steampunk. Imagine if there was a car that runs on actual drinking alcohol. Didn't they try that in Back to the Future?
Yeah, but there's a little thing that you could probably distill that down to whatever. Doc Brown could have distilled it to whatever he needed to if he really wanted to.
Oh, Mark says the patent for the water engines didn't get bought out. The two men who developed them disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Oh. Polly, what is up? He says, look at these two punks. Good morning, Latino Slant. How are you doing, brother? Good morning.
Good morning, Paulie.
And the schematics disappeared. See, I didn't know that. I thought they just got bought out by like Exxon or something.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that disappeared or got bought out. There's a bunch.
So any other ideas out there, ladies and gentlemen? How do we fix this? How do we fix big government? How do we go back to a workable solution? Just get rid of multi-parties? and you only have one party deciding everything for you.
We most certainly cannot have, and and in this cycle, it's happened twice, because the and this is not taking sides, but the primary, the so-called primary wasn't much of a primary in the Democratic Party. And after what happened about Biden stepping aside, most people wanted a quick primary, a mini primary, which would have been the logical choice. And what happens is that you're eventually, you're basically promoting somebody who nobody's voted for.
Yep, who hasn't had to do the legwork.
Yeah, there's no democracy in the Democratic Party.
Well, what's it? See, this is what I don't understand. How does this work? You've got someone that's been doing this almost all year this year. So they've been at it the whole year. And they were under the impression they were going to be running against this person. Well, then this other person drops out. There is no, well, now this next person has to earn it. It's just here. We're just going to give it to you. So she's gotten a huge gimme. Whereas this other person has had to earn it left, right, and center and spend a lot of money getting to where they're at. Whereas this other person's just gimme and got a gimme. How does that work? It's not supposed to work like that.
If it were just that, then, because he technically is on the ticket, if it were just that, but I have real issue. I have real issue with somebody like RFK Jr. being sued in all 50 states to get off the ballot, trying to get him off the ballot. And I mean, at what point, at what point is that, at what point does that not become illegal, just to tie people up in bureaucracy, so they can't be on the ballot?
Shouldn't be legal. They're using the courts. They're weaponizing the courts.
I said RFK. They've also tried to get other people, Trump off in states.
So how have we gotten to the point where, okay, we'll just legalize the justice system to go after anyone that doesn't agree with us? That doesn't sound very democratic to me.
Discontent needs to be voiced. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it.
Yes. But they're also hiding that discontent.
Oh, for sure.
And then we get into this whole social media thing where, well, we're not gonna let you know this, and we're not gonna let you search for this, and if you do search for it, nothing's gonna come up that you're looking for, because we're suppressing any information that we don't like, that we don't want out there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of control. There's a lot of control in the media, and it's very noticeable once you go 50 and up, or approximately that age range. Once you go 50 and up, the information that older folks are getting is not the same as younger folks are getting, because they're not using the internet the same way.
Yeah. Well, you've got two very different divides. You've got this one set of older generation that uses information differently than this generation. This newest generation, and maybe even the last one, is TikTok, social media. They don't go into, oh, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna read the New York Times, or I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna read the New York Post, or I'm gonna read the Houston Chronicle. Whatever it is, they just, I'll just see it on TikTok, or I'll just see it on X, or I'll just see it on YouTube, or I'll just see it on Facebook, or whatever. And that's what they believe.
Yeah. The inability to know where to look for alternative sources of information is the problem. And older folks are being manipulated, because they're trusting their establishment established media that they've known for all their lives.
Well, and wasn't it just a couple of years ago that we were told that Google was not working with the government to suppress anything? Google was its own thing. It has its own people in charge of it, and their moderation team was doing what it was doing. But then we find out that, yes, the government was involved in sending messages. We know this because of Elon Musk. We know this because of X, saying you need to shut this down, you need to shut these people down, and you need to shut this topic down, and nobody should be able to talk about this. Well, all the while saying we don't do that because we're the United States government. We don't have a hand in that. But then they get caught doing it, and they're like, yeah, well, so what?
It's that everybody kind of knew it was bullshit anyway, because it's evident that they were doing it with Facebook and Zuckerberg. So why wouldn't they be doing it with others?
And they can say, "Oh, well, we asked, we didn't tell." But you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to control the news, and they do control the news. We all know they control the news. Legacy media is in the pocket of politicians now. The legacy media will promote and say the exact same things over and over and over again. So we moved away from that, and we found an alternate form of news to go to. And now they're trying to shut that down, and that'll continue. It's almost the same thing in entertainment. People get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again and being preached at in movies. So what do? They say, well, I've got video games. I can go play my video game. Well, now you've got Hollywood executives working in the gaming industry that are saying the exact same thing and telling them to do the exact same thing they were doing in films. Why? Because they don't want you to get away from it. They want that message going to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they don't care if you don't like it, because they'll get somebody out there to listen to the bullcrap they're saying and just feed it constantly.
And I know this sounds to everybody like it might not be the ideal topic for positively positive, but in order to be able to maintain, a positivity in your life, there are moments where you do need to analyze what's wrong. And I think that's what, Loki and I are trying to do here today.
And Tommy, you forgot who's buying at the end of that. P sells, but who's buying? P sells, but who's buying? P sells, but who's buying? Yes, I know my Megadeth. And we're trying to have a good time while we're doing it. No yelling, no screaming, no arguing, no nothing. This goes for all sides, not just one side. I went through an era where I didn't agree with the other side, because they were saying, "Oh, video games are the devil," and yada yada yada. And there was no sense. There was no common sense to any of it. And I was like, you guys are making a giant mountain out of a molehill. And now that's what the other side's doing. Mm-hmm. So it's like everything's flipped around and gone swirly. We've got to find a good medium where we're not at each other's throats and we're not trying to impose will. And I think that's where the big thing is. Don't try and impose your will on someone and say, you must do this and you must agree with this, or you get exiled and cut from the herd. Tyron Lethbridge says paper ballots, proof of citizenship, ID voting, open 24 hours from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Friday to Saturday. No drop boxes, 1 vote per person. No mules or overseers from any and all parties. Agreed.
Yeah. Most countries in the world require national identity card, which is the equivalent of proof of citizenship, to vote.
Do you know what real ID is?
I heard about it, and I think it's going into effect for traveling and stuff, right? Domestically, right? Okay,
so get a load of this. I had to experience this when I moved back to Texas. I have a driver's license in the state of Missouri. Okay. I don't want to relinquish my driver's license in the state of Missouri. Not yet. Okay. So I go and I want an ID card. That's it. That's all I want. It's a state ID card with my address on it. But I want to keep my Missouri driver's license. Nope. I get all the way through the process of getting my state ID, and they're like, yeah, we need your Missouri driver's license. I'm like, no, this is my Missouri. This is my driver's license. I just want a Texas ID. That way I can set up a P.O. box for my business here. So I have proof of my address here. Oh, we can't do that. Why not? It's not two driver's license because it's a real ID and you can't have more than one real ID. And I'm like, I don't want to. And they're like, well, you've moved. I bullshitted. I said, but I still live there. I still have my address there. I'm here half the time. So I'm going back and forth. Doesn't matter. You don't get more than one real ID. So you're stuck with one ID. It's not two driver's license. I wasn't trying to be like, oh, well, I want this driver's license here and this driver's license here. Just an ID. Can't get it. Sorry, only one real ID. Why do they only want you to have one real ID? Because they don't want you transplanting whenever you want. They don't want you to go back to where you live and come and live here and then go back and live there.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll let someone from out of the country do that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's and this is really about states stepping up, I think, and I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Loki.
So if you got to have an ID to vote, you got to have all this, but you don't anymore, then what's the point of having a real ID? So you can travel outside the country? I thought that's what a passport was for.
No, the real ID is to board a plane now, and it's but domestically.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little. You know what? If they're, yeah, it's. I get that people, it can come across as a very a security feature that might be logical, but it's also going to end up getting manipulating us. So
get an ID, New York City, no proof of identity needed. Do you know what I had to go through to get a driver's license in Missouri? I had to have my birth certificate. I had to have my social security card. Wow. I had to have a current form of ID. I had to have all that to get a driver's license in the state of Missouri. How is it that you can get a driver's license if you don't have all that and you're not from here? I don't understand that. But you get one. Why is it so hard for me to get one when I'm a United States citizen? And I'm not dunking on anybody. Please don't be like, oh, Loki's just hating on. No, I'm asking a question. And it's an honest question. If I'm from here, if I was born here, why is it so difficult for me to do something that obviously someone else can do just like that? I don't know. When I went to Tijuana when I was 15. I got drunk off my ass. And I'm stumbling back across the border and I realize I didn't bring my military ID card. Why, Loki, why did you have a military ID card at 15 years old? Because my dad was former military. So up until the point I was 18, I had a military ID card so I can get into the PX, buy something, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't have my ID card. And my dad was like, my son doesn't have his ID card. And I'm like, I didn't bring my ID card. And the lady's like, where are you from? I was like, the United States of America. Right? And she's like,
did you say it just like that? Did you say it?
Oh, yeah. I was like, the United States of America. Oh, yeah. Because I left the group. For anybody out there going, dang, at 15, your dad let you get like wasted? No. I left the group with a bunch of teenagers my age, and we got intercepted by a guy who was like, hola, amigos, come here. Free tickets for free drinks. Just go inside. And we went in and we were having a drink. We were having fun. and then the curtain like opened and there was a donkey and we were like, and we left. But we were drunk. So by the time my dad ran back into us, he was like, "You are drunk off your ass. We are going." And on the way out, I was in the United States of America. And she's like, "What state?" And I go, "God bless Texas." And she goes, "Yep, you're an American. Go on in." But that's all you needed. The point is, that's all you needed to get across the border then. You know, this was 1995, 1996, but still.
Well, they're asking for even less now. But anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah, Mark's like young Loki and the Tijuana Mexican Iron Man show. Yes, it was. It really was. But yeah, in the United States of America. What state? God bless Texas, ma'am. All right, you're an American. Go. That was it. That's all it took. And now you're bombarded at every opportunity to give us your ID or you're not going anywhere. How long before you can't leave the state without your ID? Like drive across state lines. When are they going to put little booths in and be like, "No, you're not leaving, not without your ID."
Mm-hmm.
Real Wade Nation. Loki is the real and better Dr. Doom Loki. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you, Arwen. Maddie's daddy, what is up? Good morning. Good morning. Maddie's daddy, how are you doing? I was going to get a period British Brigadier uniform for my wedding, but it was like 600 pounds. Rennie and I were going to be OG Doctor Who wedding in a Texas courthouse. That would have been awesome. That would have been absolutely awesome. Unfortunately, me and Eris didn't get married in Texas, so we went out of state to get married. We didn't do it that way. That would have been cool to do something like that, though. Show up like Klingons in Klingon battle gear, and my heart, the warrior heart, and do that in front of the judge, and the judge would be like,
"Wow."
And then have a whole bunch of people with pain sticks ready to beat the crap out of us as we try and leave.
You can renew your vows if you want to do it, and Maria Shinzai can marry you. Maria marries people.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. Any nerds out there want to have a good nerd wedding? Maria is the person to go to.
I did not know that. We got to talk one time about. So we had a blind violinist that did the music for the wedding, and Mike was like transfixed. Yes, Mexican Iron Man was just and the whole night I should have gotten her number. I should have gotten her number.
Wow.
She was really cute. I'm like, go get her number. I don't know where she is. You want her number? I'll find a way to get her number. Wait a damn minute. When did you change your name? I just realized who you are. Oh, Rennie. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were, I didn't know you were, yeah. Anyway. Who's getting married this weekend? I have no idea. Not us. We did that, done that, bought a t-shirt on that one. Maybe another one. Memes. Good morning, memes. I don't know, but there's just, it's almost like we've got a lot less liberty than we used to have. And I have to wonder if you told people 100 years ago, listen, you're going to have this to vote. You're going to have this to buy a house. You're going to have this to build a house. You're going to have this to do this. If they wouldn't call us all crazy.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't take one look at us and say, you're crazy for allowing that to happen.
Yep. And you know what's out of control too? Like, college. College is out of control. People can't afford it. You're going to be in debt for life for going to college or grad school. Forget about it.
How do you deal with that?
That system is broke, Loki. It's broke. It's just broken. And the colleges have these huge endowment funds, and the whole system is broken. Really, it's just, in my opinion, it's broken.
So when I went to college,
Yeah.
I got my master's. I have a master's degree, which blows people away. They're like, "You?" Yes, I have a master's degree in psychology. I used to be a chemical dependency counselor. When they signed me up for my stuff, I was eligible for grant money, and I got that grant money. But I had to sign a paper, and this is what I didn't understand at the time, because the grant money couldn't cover everything. So while I did get a grant because I was a poor, hardworking kid at the time, I was in my 20s. While I did get the grant money, that wasn't enough, and I still had to pay money out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So they got me, and this is before the government took over loans. They got me a loan, and I can't remember who the heck it was for or through. But basically, the grant covered a quarter of the cost of my college.
Yeah.
The rest of that went to loans that I had to pay back. And by the time I was done, I owed 30 grand. I owed $30,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of money for someone just coming out of college.
Yeah.
And then you got to tack interest rate. Now, up until then, because I was going to school, I wasn't having to pay interest rates on those loans because I was still going to school. But as soon as I got done with school, they're like, we want our interest payment. Each year, we want our interest payment. Give us our money. We don't care if you don't pay the loan off. You could spend your whole life paying the loan off, but we want that interest payment. So you're going to pay us that interest payment. And you're stuck doing that. Now you can just pay the interest payment and keep the balance on your loan, but then you're not getting anywhere. But interest comes first. So you got to pay off your interest, and then you got to start paying off the money you owe. That's crazy. And that wasn't even like a top tier college.
Yeah.
That was like mid-level. It was better than a state school, but it was still mid-level.
Yeah.
And that's how much I ended up owing. I'd already done my general. I did 2 years at a community college.
Mm-hmm.
That was cheap, and I got my general degree. Then I took a break, got married, had a kid, and then if I want to ever get out of this crappy job, I've got to go to college, and I gotta get to school. That way I can get a better job and make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. But I ended up owing. I had $30,000 I had to pay off. I didn't have anybody going, we're going to pay off your loan for you. So when the government's like, well, we're going to pay off your loan, I'm kind of like, you owe me money first because I paid back all my money. So where's my interest payment and my loan money that I had to pay already and I had to pay off? Why aren't you giving me my money back since I'm still alive and I went through school and waiting to pay off all these other people's loans? So if I'm a little jaded over the fact that some people are just getting their loans paid off, oh, but these are people who have paid their premium and paid this and da-da-da. I already went through all that. I had to dig myself out of a hole. I had to dig myself out. I didn't have government going, we're just going to pay it for you.
Yeah.
So where's my money? Give me my money back. If you're going to pay off everybody else's stuff, I want my stuff paid back.
Well, that's a good point.
Because I paid for school.
Yeah.
It seems like they don't care about making me happy. They want to make these other people happy so that they'll kiss their ass when it comes time to do what they need to do. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, if I was just ranting, but
no, it does make sense. Now, the other thing too is now you should be looking, like we should all be looking ahead to, what's going to happen with our kids, right? Hello, Lady Mist.
Good morning, Lady Mist. We were talking about you this morning. We brought you up earlier this morning because we played a Conan clip. I was like, if Lady Mist is out there, she's hearing Conan in the void. Good morning, Lady Mist. No, but I agree. I'm just, should it be the government's responsibility to pay for your education. No. I hated the idea. And guys, the government took my loan. So the government was like, if you don't keep up with your loan, if you don't do your loan, we're going to take all your taxes. We're going to take anything you get back from taxes. We're going to take anything you get from social services. We're going to take any help you get, and that's going to go towards paying off your school loan. So we're going to take any help you get if you are not current with your loan, which was not their responsibility and not their job. We have an idiot to thank for that said, oh, well, we'll just make it all government funded. And we'll terrorize people with threats of you don't get any money at all if you don't pay off your loan.
You know what really bothers me about what you're telling about all this? What really bothers me is when you owe those $30,000, you're basically an indentured servant until that gets paid back. And I know you dug yourself out of that hole, right? Like many other people. But I truly believe that education should be more affordable, and I think I think we're very inefficient. I think there's ways to make things more affordable, and it's not giving stuff out for free. And I don't believe that anybody should be made into an indentured servant in any form. And I know people who are basically slaves, and they can't do a career shift, or they can't quit their job, and they can't, they have no choice basically. And yeah, we live in this great free world, and democracy, but there's ways to hook people, right?
Right. No, absolutely. Good morning, Maria.
Hey, Maria.
I once knew a girl named Maria. My singing's terrible. Anyway.
Man, if you guys, when Maria's got a lot of stuff brewing. When you guys see what she got brewing, just wait and see.
I'm happy you're able to watch too. Lady Miss, we miss you in the morning. We miss you. We were just talking about, man, I hope Lady Miss is okay. We haven't seen her in a long time. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing good. I saw Maria's teaming up with somebody. It was is Miss Martin Muses. And I was like, holy crap, is it Miss Martin Muses you were teaming up with?
Maria, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think it was. Anyway, Maria can tell me whether I'm right. It was either her or Netter. I can't remember.
Oh, Netter. Netter.
It is Netter? Okay.
Yeah.
But I was just like, it's so good to see people. It's so good to see people come together and working together. Why can't we do this in real life? Why is it so difficult for us as human beings to go, you know what? Let's work together and make shit better. Instead of, I want it my way. No, I want it my way. No, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do that. Mm-hmm. And like you said, indentured servitude. It's the way it feels like. You will give us what we want or else. And that's the government. That's not a bank. I've got a friend. We were just hitting our 20s. He spent $100,000 on car parts, PJ, for a Mustang he was building. Now, sure, it was the fastest damn Mustang in town, but he turned around and he sold that car to his dad for $100. And then he declared bankruptcy and he wiped out all of his debt. This is when we had just turned 20. Mm-hmm. Okay. Declared bankruptcy, went through the bankruptcy, but he had his car the whole time. They couldn't take the car back because he had sold his car to his dad for $100. Mm-hmm. But they gave him the bankruptcy and let him go through all that. You can't do that with school loans.
Yeah.
Because the government owns your loan. So when the government bought the loans from the banks, they were like, this doesn't work under bankruptcy law anymore. So even if you do declare bankruptcy, you've still got to pay your school loans back. And you still got to pay the interest.
You're fucked for life.
You're fucked for life. So either dig yourself out of your hole or don't get in the hole in the first place. And a lot of people have decided, I'll go to a trade school. I don't want to be in the hole. I don't want to get myself in the hole. Maria says, yes, Netter is going to help me with a big project. I'm not ashamed to say I need help. And PJ knows what's going on. The boss.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
But why can't we as a people come together and work together like that? What's preventing us from doing that when, I mean, you know how long I've been wanting to work with PJ? It finally gets to the point where it's like, okay, we can do something together. And I love getting to work with people. I love getting to work with Adega. I love getting to work with Arwen and Dave Bob on Fridays. I love it. I love getting to work with Culture. I love getting to work with Zero. I love getting to work with all these people and collaborating on something and building something that people enjoy. That is what I love more than anything else. I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for any kind of power or ego trip. I like working with people and I like the discussion. I like to talk. Wow. Who knew? Loki likes to talk. I like to talk and I like to discuss things. That's something I really enjoy. I've got a blabbermouth. I'm a bit of a mouth.
And what you need is to grow, because we need to get you a bigger microphone, a bigger platform. Like we need to get, because I think you have a lot to contribute, and we need to get you like, you need to be in the millions. We're gonna get you there.
And PJ's been saying supportive things like that since day one. It's one of the reasons
I'm not just bullshit. I'm not blowing smoke up with gas. I mean it. Like, but there's totally incompetent people who were completely successful beyond belief, and Loki is quite the radio personality, and we want to see him get far, and he will.
And Marie is right. We all have different talents we can bring to one another. Nothing wrong with that. But I guess the question I'm asking is, why can't we do that in with our government? Why it is so hard about that? What is so hard about coming together and working together? I've seen it once in my life, and it was right after some planes hit some buildings back in 2001. I've seen it once my entire life. Why is it so difficult to do that? Even after someone almost gets, their head blown off, we're still stuck in this same loop of BS. And it is a loop of BS.
That's very important what Loki is saying about, and there's a lot of good that came from what happened afterwards. And I got to tell you, I living in New York City. It was, people really came together. People were nice to each other. People were looking out for each other. But we don't need a tragedy. We don't need disaster, catastrophe. We can awaken without that, and to bring that about without catastrophe and disaster and tragedy.
That's right. That's what we should be able to do.
It's happening, Loki. I think it's happening. I see a lot of people awakening in many different ways, personally.
Awesome one in the mouth of the South. Please don't tell me I sound like Jimmy Hart. Oh, I love him, but please don't tell me I sound like him. Mm-hmm. Oh.
We were talking about your loans and stuff. Another big problem, this financial literacy is really important, for example, because another big problem that people have is the whole credit card industry, and like 20%, like those are loan shark rates for small loans, basically.
Yep.
And
or more
20, 24, 25%. And what the millionaires maybe get 7% on their credit card, and the middle class get 20 something percent. It's all about voicing insatisfaction, and the thing is that we all have to voice our insatisfaction. Otherwise, this stuff is not going to get corrected.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
And dismantling the middle class is not good for anybody.
No, because now you've got an even bigger divide between what the uber rich have and what everybody else has.
And forgive me, Loki, if I want to share one thing here,
Yeah.
if it's okay to share it. And I do not, again, I do not want to be political, even though I will admit that I do like RFK Jr. a lot. But if oh, did I share it? No, I didn't share it.
Mm-mm.
You want to share something here
I
because
was like, I thought you were going to hold something up or something. I was like, oh, go ahead. As
yeah,
long as it's not,
um,
a
I just want to share this.
firearm.
This is from a CBS thing that they did. They did an interview of RFK Jr. And I think what I'm trying to get at here is that I think it's important for all of us to be critical thinkers. And I just
And
want to show that,
drinkers.
huh?
Oh, you said critical thinkers. I said and drinkers because
Oh, and
critical.
drinkers. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, of course. Um, and I'm just putting this up for the sake of how a mainstream media is controlling this. For example, is a poll that was taken where the only choices were Harris or Trump, and then the results are being presented, but of course the third party there, the independent there, is not even presented in the poll as a choice. And of course that affects not just Kennedy's numbers, but it also affects Harris's numbers mostly. And so the information that we receive from mainstream is something that we need to be critical about, right? And I also think it's our duty to tell the 50 and over crowd who are maybe not getting the information that like some of us might be getting from the internet or from YouTube or from because basically the thing is that people of a certain age don't know where to look for other sources of information, and then
Agreed.
people under a certain age do, and that's the problem. So it is important for people to talk to their elders and to share, and to put and to give your aunt or your grandma information, and even though giving her, I remember I gave my great aunt a an email account in her 90s when she didn't need it for anything, but it's important to share. We learn from them and they can learn from us, right? And I guess
Right.
I'm including myself in the younger group. I'm more in the middle, I guess, but I'm just rambling on, Loki, but I just wanted to share that. Sorry.
No, 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 no. Don't apologize. They know what they're doing. The media knows what it's doing. And for anybody tuning in that's like, well, I've never liked to use the internet for this or that, or I just read the newspaper, or I just watch the news. Something that is not commonly talked about is these people own your news agencies now. So very specific people own Fox News. They own CNN. They own ABC. They own NBC. And they will roll with the exact same verbiage, we'll say, the exact same verbiage, the way they talk about things and how they talk about it and what they talk about. It's all the recycled crap that they want to throw out there. It's not about reporting news anymore. It's not about, oh, well, we're here and we're going to tell you like it is. No, we are here and we have an agenda. That is why CNN has failed so bad. And what's happening
Imagine,
with them? They have an
Loki.
agenda.
Absolutely. Imagine, Loki, if you talk to somebody like, imagine if we could talk to somebody like Walter Cronkite now. And I'm sure he could probably see things coming, right? But imagine telling somebody like Walter Cronkite that it would get this bad. He would probably, he would probably doubt it could get this bad.
Well, you mentioned, some Orwellian things. Bring up some Orwellian things to him, and maybe they will get that bad. Well, we never expected it would get that bad, but maybe it will. Maybe the doomsayers that were saying all these bad things could happen were correct. Well, guess what? A lot of bad things have happened.
Now, on
That
the
could
flips,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying that could have been prevented if we just worked together.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, now things might appear to be really bad, but on the flip side, there's a lot of awakening going on. There's a lot of alternatives popping up, and they might not be as established, but on the opposite, on the flip side of that, there is wonderful stuff happening, and we do have to, maintain a positive outlook. I don't want to be negative here.
No, absolutely. And they've got to heal. Things have to heal. We don't forget. Why does Loki say don't forget? Because forgetting's what got us in this situation in the first place. Forgetting how things can go bad. Forgetting how things turned out the way they were. Forgetting how during the last World War things happened and turned out the way they were. By keeping our eyes shut and not remembering and not accepting the facts for what they were, we have put ourselves in a position where those things can repeat themselves.
Absolutely.
All because we forgot. Forgive, but don't forget. You can forgive someone. You can be like, you know what? I know you yelled at me for having this sign out in my front yard, but you know what? I forgive you. I'm not going to forget how crazy you were when you saw the sign, but I'll have my little piece next to the door ready for you to try and like barge in one day and try something, but I forgive you for being a dick. It's that simple.
What did the sign say? Did it say Mexican Iron Man for president?
Yes, it said Mexican Iron Man for president, and it said no MILF is safe underneath it. And I think Mike had visited that guy's house. And Mike, if you're out there right now going, that's so old, it's not as old as the MILF you were with last night. Why do we have to make fun and ridicule those we dislike or don't agree with? We are never going to learn to talk or resolve anything if we're going to keep doing that. Exactly. Why is my phone going off? Okay. Absolutely. We don't need to be in that situation. It's that simple.
And the greatest part about this community, by the way, is that everybody is very respectful of each other.
Yes.
In Valhalla and in our greater nerd community as well. And I know that we've been complaining about stuff, and I've been complaining more than usual today. But I do want to really celebrate the positivity. I want to celebrate the fact that many of us, most of us, especially everybody who's watching, listening to this, are aware of the fact that we're aware of what's wrong is very positive. And the fact that we want to change it, and the fact that we are behaving in ways that make things better is very important.
Daisy Girl Williams said lurking, but wanted to say hello. Hello, Daisy Girl Williams. Lady Miss said, if someone made fun of my laugh, I would never hear them when they talked ever again. Yeah. Yeah, just let them go. I prefer to look at it from a person's track record and look at it from what they've done in the past. When you see what happened the last time she ran for president and what I believe it was Tulsi Gabbard did to her, absolutely annihilated her in front of everyone, and that was pretty much the end of her campaign. That tells me everything I need to know. I don't have to worry about her laugh. I don't have to worry about what she looks like. I don't have to worry about if she used to own a pair of knee pads. I don't have to worry about any of that. She got absolutely destroyed for her record of when she was in California and she was a prosecutor. If they want to hold the prosecutor thing so high, let's talk about the facts and let's talk about all the people you put in jail for marijuana, all the people you extended their stay in prison, all the stuff you signed off on that obviously you didn't read or had a problem with reading. Just look at the person's track record and go with what they did.
Loki, and I do not want to be political, but what you said there about extending people's sentences, that is so severe. That is worse than indentured servitude, like we were talking about. That is basically a new form of slavery.
That's right.
If somebody has done their time and they shouldn't be there, they shouldn't be there.
That's correct. I used to work in the prison system. Believe me, I know. And the prison system is all kinds of screwed up. Don't make me go into the prison system. Because when you have someone that broke into someone's house when they weren't home to steal something and got caught and they get 20 years in prison, and this other guy violently assaulted a child in that kind of way and they get 2 years, there is something off about the balance of what is going on in our system. Absolutely. There is something very off. So that's what you get. That's what you learn about when you work in the prison system. That's why they tell you, don't go and look at what any of these people did. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go and look at what these people did. Because you got a computer right there where you can be like, oh, this person did this person did this. Don't give us a computer to look at all this stuff if you don't want us looking at all the stuff. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the stuff.
The even bigger issue there too is well, again, I don't want to go against Harris here, but the bigger issue there too is being pro marijuana and putting people in jail for years.
Yes.
So, yeah. But I want to ask. I would to end on a good note here. I want to ask everybody in the chat, guys. I want to ask everybody. Tell us one thing you are grateful for today in the chat. How about everybody tell us one thing that you're grateful for? And I'm going to be first. I want Loki to answer the question too. And I'm going to go first and I'm going to say, I am so grateful. I am so grateful that Loki and I have finally initiated this collaboration, because I think there's going to be wonderful things coming. And this is just the beginning. And I'm so grateful to have Loki as a friend and to have him as a collaborator.
I'm gonna do two things real quick. First, I'm gonna say the same about PJ. Getting to work with PJ is an absolute treat. Getting to work with so many good people is I never imagined that. I never imagined anything like this when I started. I didn't. I had no idea what was going to happen. I'm very grateful for that. I'm also very grateful that I met my wife in this space. Eris is an absolute rock star, guys. You have no idea. Not just the fact that she puts up with my bullshit, but who she is as a human being is an absolute rock star. Who she is as a human being. So, in the fact that we get along as well as we do, and we communicate, and the way that is, I am eternally grateful for meeting her and marrying her, because that is just. That's something I never thought I would be looking at again. And the fact that it's been almost a year, nothing has really changed besides we're even happier than we were before. To me, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That is out of the park. Holy crap, I can't believe it. So, Awesome One says, thank God for food and health and life. Being alive and happy. I dig that. I absolutely dig that.
Can I just say one thing here, Loki?
Yeah.
And thank you, Lady Miss, for sharing. Guys, a lot of times, life is not perfect. And being happy some days is a decision. But I want to urge people to decide to be happy and joyful, even though things are not perfect, because it's better for you. You're better off that way. So if you need to decide, things are a little gray, decide to have a good day. Decide to, that rhymes, hey? Things are a little gray, decide to have a good day. There you go.
You almost made me spit my tea all over my microphone and my keyboard and the screen.
This is all right.
PJ just coming out of left field with something just...
I'm grateful for family and friends as Project Cambrian.
Sometimes you have to almost lose everything to appreciate what you do have. And that is somewhere that I have been, unfortunately. And you can't sweat the small stuff. My dad used to say, that used to irritate the shit out of me. Growing, you can't sweat the small stuff, boy. And I'm like, oh man, can't sweat small stuff, and all kinds of stupid shit he used to say. Boy, if you're going to hoot with the owls, you need to be soaring with the eagles first thing in the morning. What the hell does that even mean? And now I'm in my mid 40s and I'm going, I know what it means, son of a bitch. I know exactly what it means because I've learned to appreciate life. I've learned to appreciate the things I have. I don't have to have this or that or the other. I don't have to have blah 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 blah. Um, I appreciate everything that I have, and it's you know what. Sometimes it's fun to come home, and Eris is like holds up a thing and is like here. I'm like, what the hell is this? She's like, open it. I open it and it's a record or something. I'm like, why the hell did you buy me this? Because I love you. And she'll come home and she'll have something waiting for her or something. Yeah, sure, that's nice, but we don't have to have all that to be happy. You just find you're happy. Like Homeboy said in Happy Gilmore, find your happy place. Happy-roo. You know? It's all in the hips, baby. It's all in the hips. Tommy in the Getting Paid Collective says, well, PJ, I'm having a bad day, but just don't care. Still laughing about it, though.
Tommy, God bless you. And listen, because you're deciding to have a good day, things are more likely to improve. And God bless you for doing that. And you know what's going to happen during the day? Things are going to improve. It's going to improve and things are going to get better. And tomorrow's going to be better.
Tyron Lethbridge says, I'm grateful to be in Texas with my wife, Rennie. I love that woman and I love that we met on YouTube. But I'm also grateful for Rumble, the free speech alternative to this place. Absolutely agree, brother. We are in the great state of Texas too. So it's nice to be in good company, my friend. Undead Ramen said, my kids, and that we finally got a working fridge. Their dad, my ex, is our landlord. How the hell does that work? So yeah, that wasn't a priority for him. Finally got the cash to get it myself, and it will never get old for me. I'm glad you got a fridge, Undead Ramen. Glad you got a fridge. And you got it. You got it. You went out and got it. Sometimes that's like, man, that makes me feel so great when I'm like, you know, I've got to get this, and you get the money together, no matter how long it takes you, and you go and get it.
Guys.
Sometimes those are the... Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to add to what you were saying, Loki. Sorry. If you're having a tough time, guys, set little goals. Set little goals, and when you achieve those goals, you know, pat yourself on the back. You know, give yourself a treat, you know, don't have to aim big. Set little goals, improve your day, and congrats on that fridge.
Oh yeah. Project Cambridge says wisdom. It couldn't come at a worse time. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens when you're down in the dumps and things seem impossible. Sometimes that happens. And sometimes it's when it needs to happen. So you don't just give up and throw your arms up and say, screw it. Lady Miss says, sometimes I annoy people with my happiness. Let them be annoyed. That's their problem, not your problem, Lady Mist. You be you. I told that to a young woman the other day. She'll probably be like, oh my God, Loki, I'm not that young. I said, you be you. Screw what anybody else thinks. Don't let anybody stop that. Because they said, sometimes I have to hide who I really am because people take advantage of it. I said, you be you. Screw them. Don't be letting anybody else make you feel like you can't be you. You be you. If they don't like it, Owls and Eagles up late with Hooters can't fly in the morning. They can, it's just tough. Marcus, it is tough. Let me tell you. Maria says, I'm grateful for people that can find the kind of love that Loki is talking about. Also grateful to still exist right now. Be fabulous and choose happiness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Someone told me the other day that they were jealous. I was like, why the hell are you jealous of me? They said, well, you look at what you've got. And I said, look, it took a long time. And there were some times where I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore. It took a long time and a lot of I'm not giving up to get and kind of get where I am and meet the person that was right for me. Don't give up. Never give up. Never surrender. And never stop believing that, you know what, it's going to happen. going to happen. I will find somebody.
If it's important for you, guys, things will happen.
That's right.
Just hold your vision of that happening, and not just hold the vision, but imagine of how you will feel when that arrives.
I did rum. Says Loki. How does that work? That story will take several streams involving a lot of illegalities on his end, threats, and snack bar too. Yes, I believe that. I've been there, done that, and yeah, I'm right there with you. Most people think I'm on crack because I'm joking all the time. Be a joker. People, I tell you what, you know what? A lot of guys, there are guys that'll disagree, be like, oh, you need a hard ass bastard. You make a girl laugh, you charm her, and they are like putty in your hands. You can come over a lot of stuff. You see this? See the mug? I can come over a lot of stuff by being funny and charming and a sweetheart, because they love that shit. So don't worry about none of that.
Awesome one. And Lady Miss comment before too. You guys, if you make the ability to make somebody smile is priceless, and you guys are just giving that amazing ripple effect throughout this world.
Tommy says, time to entertain the guinea pigs with treats. Time for smiles here. Have a good one, y'all. Have a good one, brother. I think we're about out of here. Are we about out of here?
Yep,
I think we're about out of here. I think we are. Oh my God, yes. I melt when a man makes me laugh. See what I'm talking about, guys? And Maria's like, whoo, hot. Damn hot. So, guys, think about that. Think about that. We had, what was her name that we had on the first show we did?
Erica.
Yes, guys, go back and watch that show. Go look up Positively Positive. Loki's Morning to Mischief, Positively Positive. I'll even make a list of Positively Positives that we've had. I've got to do that with all the shows. So I will get there, I promise. Go back and watch that show with Erica and listen to some of her advice about the ladies and what ladies like. It's not all about, ooh, I'm suave Enrique and I'm going to sweep her off her feet. No, there are guys out there that if you are funny and you are charming, that is the way to a woman's heart. And it's like cooking for guys. When guys are like, woman made me a meal, and I was like, woo-wee, I'm going to marry this one. You make a girl laugh, you make a girl, blush, and you turn the charm on. Yes, they absolutely love that. Mel, okay, we talking rubbery knees or sudden water balloon? Clean up on aisle 4. Holy crap, project. A man that makes me laugh, it will melt my imaginary panties right off. That's right. Why do you think we give Makani such a hard time on the panties drop? Ooh, he's probably not listening to me right now. And if he is, he's staring at the screen going, okay, stop it. But he's charming. He's funny. He's got a great smile. Girls, he's like a gold mine of, oh my God, Makani draws. And he's available right now. DM me, girls, and I will send you his phone number. And you can call him and be like, make my panties drop, Makani. Ooh. Yeah. And he'll probably be like, oh.
You don't just call him Big Mac for no reason either.
Mac Attack. Okay, we're getting out of here. Let me thank PJ. Thank all of you. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here, for being a part of this. I love getting to do these with PJ over to Orville Nation. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Orville Nation, look in the description of this video. It's in there. Holy crap, Loki put a link to someone else's channel in his description. Yes, I did. PJ's link is in there. So go over there right now and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed, ring that bell, and check out all his content. We'll be back in 2 weeks?
2 weeks. We hope.
2 weeks. We'll be back for another Positively Positive. Guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We'll see you in 2 weeks back on Positively Positive. Have a great one, everybody.
Have a great one.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.